Welcome to Hoop Shooting the Breeze, our show all about the hoop shoot. Each month, we catch up with past participants, volunteers, and other friends of the Hoop Shoot program. I'm Makenna Cannon, and joining me today is Vern Larson, our longest serving Hoop Shoot Regional Director. Welcome, Vern.
Thank you. It's great to be here, and it's great to be hoop shooting the breeze with you.
It is so nice to have you on the show. We're really excited. And before we get launching, into the full interview, we do have a winner to announce from our last month of the service scorecard. We have our February service scorecard winner to announce. And going into our very last service scorecard month of the season with March. So it'll be our 6th and final month before we wrap up the program. So without further ado, our winner from this past month is Chris Woods. So congratulations, Chris. You've won a $100 donation to the charity of your choice. And again, a huge thank you to everyone else who took the time to serve their communities this past month. And you'll all receive some fun Hoop Shoot swag in the mail as well. Thank you again, Vern, for being here today. So as I said earlier, you're our longest serving regional director, and you are the director of this Region 2, which is the Northwest Central region that makes up Montana, North Dakota, and South Dakota. You've been involved since 1996, which is nearly 25 years, something like that. And, but before then you served in a couple of different roles too. So you've been involved for many years with the Hoop Shoot. Can you share a little bit about, what got you started with the program?
Yeah, it's a long time ago. When I was first initiated into the Elks, it was 49 years ago. And after the meeting that night, the incoming exalted ruler was filling out his roster for the different committees and asking different people, whether they were new members or officers or other members, to serve on his different committees. Well, he had an opening for the local lodge hoop shoot director. And I remind you that this was only the second year of the entire hoop shoot program back in 1973. I was only 24 years old at that time.
Oh my goodness.
So that night, I volunteered to be the local lodge hoop shoot director. And I served in that position for 1 year. And then the incoming state Elks president asked me to be the state director for South Dakota. And I served in that position for 23 years. And after that, Cam Cronk, who was then the regional director from our region, was asked to serve as a national director of the Hoop Shoot program. And when he resigned his position as regional director, then he also asked me to serve as a regional director. And I've been that since 1996. So another 25 years. So it's going on 49 years that I've been involved with the Hoop Shoot program.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So really since the inception of the national program, you've been there really every step of the way, which is incredible.
I missed the first year, McKenna.
The first year. Yeah. Yep. Okay. So almost every year.
Right.
Which is really cool. And does that mean that this next year for the 50th anniversary, is that your 50th year?
That'll be my 49th year. 49th year.
49th year. Oh my goodness,
Yep.
That's incredible. So with all those years under your belt, I'm sure you have a ton of experiences and memories. But do you have any that are especially special or that you hold dear?
I have got many, many, many memories. And when I was starting to think about this, when you asked me to come on the program, it was just a happy time.
Yeah.
I remember serving with hundreds of different Elks members throughout the different levels of the Hoop Shoot, and especially the regional directors and their wives. We've become almost family serving together.
Right.
Then there's thousands of contestants, parents and relatives that I've worked with. It's really been tremendous, because I worked with Emil Brady, Cam and Linda Kronk, and now Jim and Debbie and you.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been 3 different locations of the national contest that all have memories, Indianapolis, Indiana, Springfield, Massachusetts, and now in Chicago. It's just been a good time. The one memory that I do have on the national contest that was really outstanding, though, was about 25 years ago. And we were having the contest at the Western New England College gym in Massachusetts. And the contest was over. 2 of the boys shot perfect scores, the 8 to 9-year-old boy and the 12 to 13. So that meant that we had to have a shoot off for the Getty Powell Award winner, or the best of the best free throw shooter boy of that national contest. Well, the 8 to 9-year-old boy, as I remember it, probably wasn't 4 foot tall. I mean, he had to be standing on his toes when you measured him. And then the 13-year-old boy was probably just short of 6 foot tall. So you had this really short little guy and then this tall guy shooting off. And the shorter one, got to shoot 4 foot in front of the regular free throw line. But to shoot off that competition, they have to shoot in increments of 5. Mm-hmm. So the contest started and they were just making one basket after another. It was so quiet in there that all you could hear was the bouncing of the basketball and the swish through the net. I mean, it was just unbelievable. Until towards the end, they had made 55 of 55 shots. And so then the next increment came up and the 8 to 9-year-old boy went to the free throw line and he made the first 3 and then he missed his 59th shot.
Oh, no.
But he made the 60th shot.
Okay.
So the 13-year-old boy went up and shot and he made all 5.
Oh.
It was just unbelievable, that second place got 59 of 60 shots. And it was just unbelievable. What they did, though, is prove that they were national champions, mm-hmm. both boys. And the crowd just erupted. It was just unbelievable. From very quiet to then everybody was happy.
I get goosebumps hearing stories like that, because you can almost picture the scene, especially with such a small guy, 8 to 9-year-old, and then,
right.
13, almost 6 foot. And I think it also, says a lot about the program too, is that, we always say, everyone's equal at the free throw line, right? Like that's why
right.
We're all stepping up to the challenge, and it doesn't matter if you're tiny or tall, you could be really, really great at free throw.
Right.
So that's awesome.
I do have a favorite memory also of the Grand Lodge National Conventions. Mm-hmm. We always have the booth, the hoop shoot booth, where we give out information and we encourage everybody to shoot until they make at least 1 basket. Well, some people shoot 20 baskets and they still don't make it. So we keep moving them a little closer to the net until they finally make one, no matter what their age is. And some of the kids, we'll even put them on our shoulders and help them so that they can make a basket. But it's unbelievable that everybody makes one, but some of them make many of them in a row. And so we started trying to encourage them and say, well, if you make 1 more basket, you're going to win a new car.
Yes.
Most of the time, that's too much pressure. They don't win. But once in a while, they do win a new car. And I've got an example of it.
Yes.
This was like one of the cars that we give away. It's not a real car.
Yeah, but I love that because it is so exciting. I want a car, and
Yeah, right. And then there was one lady that came back year after year.
Mhm.
She was blind
Oh my goodness.
and wanted to shoot. And what her husband did was take the white cane
Mhm.
and tap it on the net so
Oh,
that she knew where the rim was.
yeah.
But she'd shoot, and she never had to shoot more than 3 shots before she made one. And it was just unbelievable that she kept coming back
Yeah.
from year to year. Uh,
Wow. That is so
I
incredible.
I think that's great. I mean, unbelievable what people can do no matter what their limits are.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Oh my gosh, that is so cool. And those are all just such great stories, with all of your years of experience, just having some just really inspiring and awesome memories. So thanks, thanks for sharing those. Those are so cool. And I think, we're also kind of in a very memorable time for the hoop shoot season. We keep saying it's a season unlike any other. It's been, full of challenges. And I mean, this is a year on, March of 2020 is when we had to make the decision to postpone and take a step back from in-person everything basically, and the hoop shoot season took a hit. But you were able to complete your regional contest last March, one of the only few that were able to. And with the crisis unfolding, can you share a little bit give us some insight on how things went last year?
Last March was the reason that I have all of these gray hairs. It was the most stressful time of
Oh,
any of my 49 years involved with the hoop shoot. I mean, I really had a hard time that weekend.
my goodness.
But everybody from the 3 states, Montana, North Dakota, and South Dakota, was at the hotel. Anybody that reserved a room or had a meal ticket or anything like that, they were all there. And we were in one of the banquet rooms having our get together meal, where the contestants get to know their fellow contestants as friends, not as opponents. And about halfway through the meal, I received a text from the school system saying that all contracts had been canceled as of 6 o'clock that night. And here it was probably about 6:30 by the time I looked at my phone.
Right.
And so we just continued with the meal, and I kept, during breaks, I'd keep talking to my 3 different state directors, asking them what they thought that we should do. And we just continued it until the end of the banquet.
Mhm.
And I asked the parents at that time, I said, this is what's going on. This is why you've been seeing us talking amongst ourselves up here. Uh, this is what's going to happen. I said, do you want to go pack up and go home? Or do you want to complete the contest if we can find a gym that will host us?
Right.
And it was unanimous. 100% of the parents and shooters, they didn't want to not shoot,
Mhm.
uh, raised their hand and said they wanted to continue it. So that's when it really started getting stressful, because we started making calls to anybody that we could think of that had a gym, the National Guard, the YMCA, different Christian schools and things like that. And going into it for 2.5 hours there, nobody, we couldn't find one.
Oh,
So again, we solicited more people to make calls, local Elks officials. I knew some of the city and county officials, elected officials out there, people with
mhm.
influence. And we just kept calling until finally about 10:30 that night,
Oh,
I called the athletic director for the Rapid City Christian School
mhm.
and told him about the program and what happened and all of this stuff. And he said, we'd be willing to do that, host it, but I
Mhm.
have to get my superintendent's approval. So I said, that's fine. It's great. So I hung up the phone and we were just all excited about the fact that we were going to be able to continue the contest and all of that. Well, time went on. I mean, we didn't hear from him for over an hour. And all of that time we were just stressing, thinking that the superintendent's going to say no.
Right.
But at 10 minutes to midnight, he did call back and say, yes, we will host it.
Oh.
So again, we were all excited, tried to go to bed. I don't think I slept for more than an hour that night.
No.
And about 5:30 in the morning, I got up and looked outside, and it had snowed 6 to 8 inches overnight that night. And I thought to myself, oh no. So I called the bus company and they said, no, we're fine. It'll go. Don't worry about that. And then I called the guy with the gym and he said, we're fine. We're people out there cleaning the parking lot now. So come on out. We're going to do it.
Oh my
So
goodness. Yeah.
we did the Breakfast of Champions. That was done. The bus was ready to go. We went and had the contest. Everybody showed up except one volunteer, and we had extras people, as we always do.
Right.
So they filled in. We had the contest, and then we shot extra shots in case there were ties, like we were in charge to do.
Right.
And the contest was in the books then.
It's so amazing.
We could just kind of relax. And I remember calling the Chicago office and talking to Debbie back and forth, Yeah. We were just really, really, really happy that we got it done.
It was incredible. I mean, I was across the country. I was at the Region 6 contest. Sure. And they were experiencing the same thing, not to the snow extent where, there was massive, delays or anything, but, everybody it was kind of, becoming more and more aware that it was going to be, unfortunately, a cancellation. And we were hearing from you that you were going to, push forward. And it was just so cool to hear, when I got back to Chicago that weekend that, you've been able to hold your contest and right. give that chance to the kids. So that was really cool. And what a story.
But it was a wild day, I'll tell you that, or 2 days there.
Yes.
Friday and Saturday.
Oh, constant, trying to brainstorm. And then you've been holding the contest there for many years. Right. So, I mean, having those contacts with everybody, to try to find a spot. Wow.
Right. It worked out.
I'm glad. Yeah, I'm so glad. And now we're on the other side of that a little bit, and we're here a year later, and we've been hard at work planning for the last few months for the 2020 virtual conclusion, where we'll hold those remaining 8 regional contests and the 2020 national finals virtually throughout March and April. We're really excited. March is the kickoff to those remaining regional contests. And do you have anything that you're looking forward to with this conclusion?
Well, we've got 6 regional champions that are excited the fact that they're going to be able to compete in, quote, a national contest to determine a national finalist. The thing about our region is we had 2 shooters from each of the 3 states. And each of those shooters seemed like they were on opposite ends of the state. So, I mean, we're talking almost 500 miles in between the contestants. But what we're going to do, I've talked to the parents and I've talked to the 3 state directors in my region, and Montana and North Dakota are going to have one centralized location national contest in the middle of those 2 contestants.
Okay.
South Dakota has decided that they're going to have 2 separate contests. And that's because of the parents. One parent is an accountant, and April is tax month.
Oh my goodness.
So she's just busy as all can be. And then the other parent is a photographer. And with the COVID thing going on, many of the weddings have been postponed
Oh my God.
until now. They're starting to have them. And she was booked solid for April. So we're going to have a contest in each of their hometowns and shoot it out there. And then once we get all of those scorecards in, then I'll send them on to you, and we'll compete against the other 11 regions throughout the United States.
It's pretty cool. It's I mean, we're very excited to have, our full cohort, knock on wood, of 72 national finalists that will turn into 6 national champions. And I think it's, just hearing about how, all of the state directors and you are coming together to make a plan that works best for your contestants is great. And that's happening across the country. So I think it'll be really cool to, put a bow on this very long year and have all of these cool stories,
Right.
from how everyone is completing their contest. It'll be great. But we're still, of course, looking forward to the future, and getting excited about the hoop shoot as we move forward. Do you have any goals or aspirations for the future of the hoop shoot program?
This year, 2021 would be the 49th year. And then next year, 2022, is going to be our golden anniversary, the 50th anniversary of the beginning of the Hoop Shoot program. And I just have faith that it is going to continue to get bigger and better. And all the different levels of Hoop Shoot volunteers, directors, and all of that, I hope that we can get a better participation, because I am so excited that we're teaching these kids how to be gritty kids and better adults. Because like you earlier said, this program is not just a sports program. It doesn't make any difference whether you're the tallest, fastest, or the strongest. These kids learn all different kinds of skills, leadership skills, goal setting. They learn how to control their emotions and the pressure on themselves. And just think, if you learned that when you were 8, 9, 10, or 11, or 12, or 13, I think your lives would be better. And that's what I really like about this particular program. It's just, I have a passion for it.
Yeah.
So I think it's great that we're continuing, and it's going to be bigger and better in the future.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And on that note, do you have any advice for past, present, future hoop shooters? Especially those that are getting ready for these, virtual conclusion contests, or future contestants?
My best advice is practice, practice, practice. I mean, if you want to become a champion free throw shooter, you've got to practice. All these kids have their own individual forms, but they just need to get that muscle memory and determine that they are going to be a champion. One of the advices that I like is, you don't do things till you get them right. You do them till you can't get them wrong. And that applies to free throw shooting too. You might think that you got it right, but if you continue to practice, you're not going to get them wrong. And so in a contest, you're going to be able to come through and to win.
I love it. I love that saying. I've never heard that before, but it's so true about the hoop shoot program.
I don't know who said it.
Yeah.
I borrowed it many, many years ago, and I don't remember who said it. It wasn't originally from me, but it is important.
Yeah. Oh, it is. It is so important. And, I think just very perfect and very fitting for the hoop shoot and for those contestants. I think they all, Yeah, really great. Anything else you'd like to share with us today?
One other thing,
Mhm.
the incoming national president of the Elks organization is Keith Mills, and he's from Idaho.
Mhm.
He used to be a regional Elks hoop shoot director, and he actually shot in the contest when he was a younger boy. So it's just great. But I want people to know that as a regional director, we tried to train him. I'll tell you what, he has a mind of his own, and he's an excellent leader, and he and Amy will be doing a great job when they get sworn in as Grand Exalted Ruler. They'll do a great job.
That's
And
that's
I
so
guess finally, I just like to thank all of the Elks for making this program a great, great program.
Yeah, absolutely. No, thank you. And thanks again, Vern, for joining us today. And before we go, we do have to reveal the final service scorecard for the season, which is the March service scorecard. As we all know by now, the service scorecard is a virtual engagement opportunity, and participants have the chance to win a $100 donation to the charity of their choice. So without further ado, Vern, can you do the honors?
Of course, March's theme is Spring Forward, with service projects that look ahead to a new season of service. Visit enflks.org/servicesc to participate.
Awesome. Yeah, and again, everyone's welcome to join in. It's the last month to participate, so please, please, please submit your service this month with us, and post on social media using hashtag #HoopShootServes so we can follow along on your journey. And anyone who does participate will receive some Hoop Shoot swag. We'll mail that to you guys, and we'll be back next month to announce the March winners, and with a new guest for the April Hoop Shooting the Breeze. Thank you again, Vern. It was wonderful talking with you. And if you liked the show, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit the little thumbs up button below, and let us know what you thought in the comments. So until next time, and best wishes.
Best wishes to everyone.